Yes, yes, yes. Oh my days. Like, yo, usually we wait and do this shit on a Monday, but boy, so much to talk about. Fitting it in on a Sunday. Well, technically over here, it's Monday already. It is 1 o'clock in the morning UK time, but I am so committed to this motherfucking shit that I'm still up. I'm still up recording a podcast. Thank you for
Getting
coming in,
started.
Mike.
Well, happy to be here. Happy to be here. Despite what this whole card was incredible from beginning to end. So much to talk about.
There
It
is
was
a
incredible.
lot to talk about. There is so much to talk about, and I don't even know where to start, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
because from the first fight, it was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. From the first fight, it was. I mean, fuck it. Let's start with the first fight. We had Jerome Rivers against Zaglas Zugagulov. It was a flyweight bout, and god damn, I have to say, right, Rivers was looking good.
He started amazing. He started
Jerome
so good.
Rivers, yeah, he had control of that fight early on. Now,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying he wasn't blowing Zugagulov away, but he was leading. He had Zugagulov on the back foot. It was going well for him.
Mm-hmm.
But what we saw happen to Rivers, hey, it was a little
Oh
bit of a
no.
trend because it happened to at least one person, but I think two other people had the same fate of Jerome Rivers. He rushed in, got
Mm-hmm.
caught. He got
Yep.
tagged, and uh, it's one of those crazy things, right? Because we have definitely seen people get tagged and then want to fight, and then they get tagged again and knocked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, you want to get up in close, right? So I guess in the situation, you want to clinch, right? Get someone on the fence, just lean on them, get your senses back. Now,
Right.
I understand the mentality of shooting, right? You shoot a
Mm-hmm.
double, you either get the takedown. If you don't get the takedown, you have got someone on the fence.
For sure.
But the problem is, right? And we've seen, like, on so many occasions, right? Sometimes you get a Ben Askren, you shoot in the wrong way, you get caught with a knee. Other times you shoot in the wrong way, and a motherfucker grabs your neck.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And Rivers did not pay attention to the woo because he didn't protect his neck, and
Oh
motherfucker
god.
got choked. Ow! Oh my
Standing
days!
up at that. Oh my goodness.
Now, see, the thing is, right?
Dang.
Because oh my gosh. It's like a standing guillotine isn't always the easiest thing to pull off. But you saw Zugulov change that grip. He altered the grip and then went for that high elbow. And boy, as soon as he changed that grip, you just were like,
Oh
oh, this
yeah.
is not gonna be good.
No, it was
And
locked in tight.
oh man, so tight. You saw Rivers try to kind of climb up the cage. Trying
Right, a little bit.
yeah, because you want to take that pressure off, but there was just nowhere for him to go.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, I felt bad for my man. I felt bad because that's probably it. He is probably done now.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was like
Because
fourth in a row,
yeah,
fourth loss.
that would be, yeah, 4 losses in a row for Jerome
Right.
Rivers. So
Oh,
yeah, I kind of feel the renegade is he's looking for a new home. unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's like, but yeah, Zagalos looked pretty damn good though. I could see him
Yeah,
fight again.
I mean, he was composed,
For
right?
sure.
He was composed, and he fired off a very nice counter. Fired off a very nice counter.
Hmm.
Oh yes, yeah, it was two other people. I was just trying to think of who was it. It was Hardy, and it was Giles, and the other
Oh.
two that did what Rivers did. Oh man. Oh man.
We'll talk about Giles in a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get to that. I will say, right, in the next fight, Tavares v. Akhmadev, I did not think that was a split decision, right?
No.
I thought it was a close fight, but I thought Tavares clearly won that fight.
Oh, by far. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? I thought he won the second and the third round.
He's
I don't understand, because yes, Akhmadinov got a takedown, right? He got a takedown in the second, but it's like he didn't do anything, and
no.
Tavares gets up. So I don't think he would. Yeah, to give. I don't know. I don't know how you give that as a split decision. It was so friggin' weird.
Yeah, Tavares has dominated with those leg kicks the entire
Oh
fight. It was
yeah.
as brutal again and again and again. It's like
Yeah,
I don't know how Omar was standing after that.
Tavares was he was good. Tavares looked good, so he's put together a nice little run, which is interesting. Like, I like Brad Tavares. Now, Brad Tavares, he's not gonna be a middleweight champion,
No,
right?
no,
I
no,
don't think he can get to that level, but I mean, he could definitely get to the top of the top 10.
he can get ranked. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I don't see him being able to beat like an Adesanya. But yeah,
No, no,
he
no.
can get to, you know, a number 8 in the world, maybe something like that.
No, yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure. He's definitely doesn't have championship caliber, but he's a great fighter. He has a future.
Yeah, yeah, he's
He'll be
definitely
good.
decent. Definitely decent. I is an odd fight, right? I have to say the women's flyweight fight. That's
Hmm.
a strange one. Because I will say Jessica I looked good,
Oh,
right?
totally.
I you kind of think, when you hear about the health conditions and everything like that she'd been going through in this fight, you definitely, because yeah, she looked kind of sluggish in some of her previous fights, right? So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, she's looking good, but it was I think the issue I had with I was she didn't do anything new. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was very predictable, every one of her
100%.
attacks. So it allowed Maya to counter, because I was coming forward for sure, but she was just doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
So it allowed Maya to counter what I was doing. Now, I wouldn't say Maya was crazy. Like, it
No.
wasn't a performance that was just like, oh yeah, she could beat Shevchenko. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it wasn't one of them. And I think that if you were to believe that Maya could beat Shevchenko, you would need a better performance against I for that, right? To
100%.
see
Yep.
her evolve in a way that she could be a challenger.
Right.
but she definitely, like, it was just, I think, as said in, when we were breaking these fights down, I think Maya just had more in the toolbox. She
Exactly.
was just offering up a more diverse attack. Wasn't a crazy attack, but she just had a few more tools than what I was putting out there.
No, yeah, I think so too. It's like, I mean, Maya looked good, and I agree with the decision 100%, but she wasn't a showstopper by any means.
No.
No, it was good. It was all right. It's an okay fight.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of notes for that. It's just like, yeah, it was good. I agree with it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And so that was our early prelims, which were, they were decent. Early
That's
prelims
right.
were
We
decent.
we ended up losing one fight for COVID, right?
Yes. Um it I didn't know what it was. Like, all I'd heard was that the Alan Adamensky and the Hu Yazong had been pulled, but I didn't know why that fight had been pulled. So someone got COVID.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
right.
Someone in Alan's camp got COVID. No other specifics were out there. Just some kind of COVID protocol. So who knows?
Yeah. Because even if it's not you, someone in your camp, they pull the
Right.
fighter, which
Yeah.
I get it. It makes sense. It sucks. But what we've usually seen them get rebooked pretty quickly. So
Oh, for sure. We'll see them on a fight night soon, hopefully.
yeah, for sure.
No.
Or one of them, they'll slot them in to replace someone else who has to drop out of a fight or something. You know what I mean? So
Right. Yeah, it
yeah,
won't take long.
yeah,
They'll be fighting again soon.
it will be good. So the prelims proper, god damn, the prelims
Dang.
proper were yo, that got crazy.
Right. Giles and Duplessis were, yeah, that was a good fight.
Jeez, that was oh man. And it was like Duplessis came out with the leg kicks, right? But then Giles came in so loose,
Mm-hmm.
and everything was flowing. The jab was working, his leg kicks were working. He threw in some body kicks. He was putting it together nicely, and he started to he started to take control of the fight.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
the problem is and I I don't remember him having his hands as low in previous fights. So
Right.
maybe he did, but I just don't remember. And
Hmm.
it's just like the low guard, it's fine. It's fine, right? We've seen a lot of people utilize it,
Sure.
but it only works if you are drastically faster than your opponent.
Right.
Right? Your opponent can't be as fast as you, because otherwise that does not work. And we know it doesn't work because Giles got knocked the fuck out.
So you think Giles got a little bit overconfident there in the beginning?
No, because see, in the combination where he got knocked out, right? So he slipped a shot, right? You saw him
Mm-hmm.
slip a shot, but This hand is down here. So the follow-up here. So he slips
Right.
one shot and then eats the
Get the big,
next. And
with the
it's
big
just like,
right hand.
yeah,
Yeah,
if the guard is here, the hand's getting blocked.
for sure.
But the hand is down. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, god damn. Just,
But
yeah.
yeah, that was a brutal knockout though. I was surprised. It just one of those moments he didn't want to look away.
It's because he wasn't looking, right?
Exactly.
And that's the problem. He didn't see that shot coming because he was, as I said, look, he just slipped a shot, right? So he's thinking of moving to the right and then boom, he just eats
Mhm.
and he goes down hard. Goes
No, that
down
was
hard.
wicked.
Oh, it was, yeah, brutal. And yeah, it just felt bad, man. Miss Charles, he was looking good. Charles was looking good in that fight. And
Mhm.
look, you can't say, oh, he was looking like he was going to win the fight, right? Because it was the second round. So
Right.
there was still enough fight. And Duplessis, he wasn't getting owned. It's
Mhm.
just Giles was super comfy and he had landed the better shots to that point. Duplessis
Right.
had landed, but Giles had, rolled with a lot of the shots, but been able to move out of the way. But yeah, it was one of those ones where it's just like, all right, is the gas tank gonna last? Because it was kind of fast paced, right? So could he
Mhm.
last? You know? So yeah, it's a very good win for Duplessis. A very
Definitely.
good win for Duplessis. So he is 2-0 in the octagon.
I know. Welcome, welcome. Excited to see what he does next.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean
it's gonna
the
be great.
middleweight division, hey, it's looking good. It is
Mhm.
looking good. Like, I don't think, man, you're trying to think, like, all the divisions are looking pretty tasty right now.
Every division is stacked right now.
Yeah, I mean, the only division that is a little meh is the women's featherweight division.
I thought they were talking about cutting that entirely too.
I mean, they are because there's not that many girls.
Mhm.
There's not that many girls, really. Um, but yeah, I think Nunez is gonna be able to keep it open for a bit longer. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? We'll
Right.
see
You
what
never know who'll
happens.
come up.
Yeah, I mean, I think Invicta might be holding a featherweight tournament. So, if they do more in that, we'll see, maybe more girls. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, the men's middleweight division, boy, there's some good fights. There's some
Oh,
very good
absolutely.
fights to be had. So yeah, be interesting to see who they put Duplessis against next. But
Who do you think will be next for Duplessis?
man, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you're trying to think of yeah, when you try and think of that division, it's just like who who would you
And maybe he needs at least one more fight before he gets actually ranked, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't rank him yet. You know what I mean?
No.
That's a little early. That's a little early, but you definitely up the game.
Oh,
You
for
know,
sure.
definitely up the game. And there's some, yeah, you're trying to think of all the fights that could be had. Let's go and take a look at the ranking. Because
Ooh, let's see.
trying to think of who else is around.
Maybe like a Chris Weidman. Wouldn't be so bad.
Chris Weidman ain't fighting anyone for any time soon.
Really? After that Uriah Hall?
No, Uriah Hall is fighting Strickland in a few weeks' time, I think.
That division is so stacked. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind a Brad Tavares,
Right.
actually.
Good looking at. Heck, even Trevin Giles wouldn't be so bad.
I mean, yeah, but Giles just lost.
Right. Yeah, they both had a recent fight in both times to recoup.
No, but I think you wouldn't like, you know, I mean, Duplessis has just won and Giles has just lost. So I think you put him up against someone like someone else who has just recently won. So yeah, as I said, I'd say Brad Tavares.
No, that would be good.
I think yeah, I think if you go Brad Tavares, that's a decent fight. That's a fight I wouldn't mind seeing.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I think that's the way you might actually go with that one. You know?
We haven't seen Tavares since December too, so he's due.
No, we just saw Brad Tavares. What are
We
you
did?
doing? He fought on the card, man.
Oh
We just
yes,
talked about that fight.
Oh yeah.
What
I'm looking at the rankings right here. It's throwing me off. Yeah, the rankings have been updated right here.
Mm. I mean, you could go
Right.
Brendan Allen. Yeah, I mean, you could go Brendan Allen. You could. I mean, Ian Heinisch has just lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tavares after Omari, that makes most sense.
yeah. I'm saying I would say, right. I would say you put him up against Brendan Allen. Or possibly Tavares. Yeah, I would go with either of those fights because
That would be good.
I mean, Akhmadev is higher than him in the rankings, but Akhmadev just lost. So yeah, I'd say put him up against Brendan Allen or Brad Tavares.
Oh, and Allen's actually fighting in 2 weeks.
Huh?
Allen's fighting on the 24th.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Puna Soriano.
Oh gosh, yes. Yes, that fight got made just recently, actually.
Right. So it looks like Tavares is going to be the best choice no matter what.
Yeah, I would say I'd say that's a decent fight to make.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
How about Ilya Tapura?
Yeah. That was a fun fight. I mean, it's kind of funny watching it with people that aren't real UFC fans. Were just really annoyed by Brian Hall throughout the whole thing. Well, is this his weird, unorthodox way of fighting? Was this annoying people? Like, why is he on his back this whole time?
I mean, you don't like. he doesn't always fight like that. I think in his last fight, he was more stand-up. He was kicking more. So I think if people had seen, he's the last time Ryan Hall fought, which was a couple of years ago, granted, right? But if people remember that fight, he was kicking a lot. He was standing, he was kicking a lot. But, in previous fights, we have seen Hall, try and get the fight to the ground, Imamari rolls and all of that kind of thing. So I understood what he was doing. It was definitely a very dangerous approach, right? Just the way he was offering himself up, right?
Exactly.
He was throwing himself out there as bait. And it was just like, fucking, I mean, it just made you nervous every time because it was just
trying
like
to get the counter from the back. It's on the ground. It's it's weird.
but it was crazy, but it definitely, what he was doing made sense in the context of you're trying to get a leg, right? If you're trying to get a leg, if you're trying to take it to the ground to do something there, it made sense. But it only makes sense for as long as you can avoid the shot.
Exactly.
And he had been until he didn't. Right. And it was just, he got to that point where the fence was in the way. Like there was nowhere else for him to roll.
Right.
Because Tapora had his legs were in the way, and then there was the fence. So he had him trapped, and then he just dropped shots.
That was it. Yeah. It's like Hall missed that one kick and he was on the ground trying to avoid in the exact wrong position to get hammer fisted on. It's like, yeah, brutal ending.
Yeah. And it was so close to the end of the round. That was a thing. It was just like, oh man, so close to the end of the round.
447, yeah, round one. Yeah, that was it was a fun fight though. We enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. No, I was intrigued. I was just like, oh shit, can Hall grab something? Like that was the whole thing. I'm watching them like, okay, is this gonna work? Like, what can he get? Right? And there was a couple of times where he got the leg, but Tapora was just like, as soon as he felt those hands, he was just like, nah, I'm not staying here. And he got out
Right.
super fast.
No. And then we'll see what happens with Hall again. At least he didn't take too much damage. So we'll see him again soon.
Yeah. As long as he didn't pick up an injury, I reckon he will. And to be honest, it's not the worst that could have happened for him.
True.
Because now, people are going to be fine with fighting him. People think, oh, I can do that. Right? It'd be like, oh, that's how you beat this dude. Fine, I can do that. I mean, that a lot of people will be saying it, but in practice, and not everyone can do that shit.
No, it was interesting to watch. It's all these weird rolling on the ground, trying to get the leg over and over and over again. It was fun.
Yeah.
Very unorthodox for show.
Oh yeah, but it's just Tapora is just so high level, right? Because Tapora had ended half of his fights via submission. And he's very good on the ground as well. It's just Hall, I'd say, is better on the ground, right? But Tapora is good on the ground, very good on the stand up, right? And you compare his skills on the ground to some of the other fighters in the division, he's better. So where if Hall had got the leg like he did to Tapora, he's taking that leg.
Right.
So where people might watch that fight and think, oh, I can do exactly what Tapora did. No, they cannot. But it's going to give people that full sense of security, and we're going to see more people signing up to fight Ryan Hall. So that's what I mean. Although it's, obviously he'd want to have won that fight. But by losing, it means that he will get another fight sooner than he would have if he had won, I'd imagine.
That makes sense. Yeah, lot more people that actually want to fight him this time.
Yeah.
Some people want to duck him before.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. But yeah, not many people will be wanting to fight Tapora because god damn, he looked good. He looked very good. Now the problem for him is though the division is kind of tied up with some of those fights. I mean, you do have like Arnold Allen. He's coming off a win, so I don't think he doesn't fight Tapora. I don't think it makes sense for Allen. Well, here's the thing, right? I do believe rankings are bullshit.
True.
You know what I mean? But you can look at it and go, okay, Allen, he's been killing it. Of late, Allen has been killing it for sure. So you think Allen would be he'd be in line for possibly a title elimination fight, but the division is it's kind of crazy because we've got Volkanovski against Ortega and we've got Max Holloway for the winner. But Max Holloway he is fighting shit. I cannot think of who the fuck Holloway. Who?
I'm looking it up right now.
I know that he signed up for a fight, which a fight he didn't actually have to take. Because after the Cater fight, Dana said, yeah, Holloway gets the next shot. Holloway will fight the winner of Ortega Volkanovski. So there was already that. So technically, Holloway could have sat out if he had wanted to. Now, Holloway isn't that dude. Holloway is, I'll just beat anyone. So fuck it. You know what I mean? Which, fuck. I mean, the mentality makes perfect sense to me. Right? Because if you think you can beat the champion, right? If you think you're good enough to take the belt, that means you're good enough to beat anyone in that division. So no one should worry you.
Oh, that's right. You got Volkanovski against Ortega. They're the ones that are in the UFC tough thing that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Fighter.
So I think they're looking at September for that fight. So as it is, like a lot of the top people are tied up. So I think with Allen, I mean, you could possibly give him Cater or Zombie.
Right. Zombie would be good. What about Ige?
EA's coming off a loss.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Against Holloway.
Yeah, so I think you.
Or no, it's about.
Yeah, I think you give Allen, Cater, or Zombie. Right, so
I think
that's
that'd
the
be good to show himself.
huh.
No, I think that'd be a great fight.
Yeah,
Either one.
I think with Tapora, I think Tapora you might, but I believe that Josh Emmett is injured. I think Emmett is injured, so that makes that a tough one. But you might go with Tapora. You might give him maybe Alex Caceres.
There's actually a lot of good potential fights in the featherweight division.
Yeah. Like we've got Kadesi against Barbosa, which that's a tasty fight.
Oh, for sure.
That's a tasty fight. But yeah, there's some very good fights to be had. Like I think a fight that definitely makes sense would be Yusuf Eig, because both are coming off losses. So I think that would make a great fight.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I would definitely do that. Maybe Holloway is fighting Rodriguez.
No, yeah, I don't see anything scheduled for Holloway. Maybe that's in the works.
Like he does have a fight coming up. It got made a few weeks back, but for the life of me, I cannot think of who the fuck it is. But yeah, there was a fight that got announced recently.
Let's see.
But yeah. It's a tough one. But I don't know, man. There are just there's a lot of fights that could be made. There's a lot of tasty fights that could happen. So
every division is just so good. It's like you just look at the rankings, like, oh yeah, that would be a good matchup. That would be a good matchup. Incredible.
Yeah. No, there's a lot. There's a lot of good fights, and that's what's interesting, man. That's the thing you always. You look at with the divisions and you'd be like, oh shit. Yeah.
Seriously.
Man, I cannot wait. Like, and I think that's what separates the UFC from Bellator and some of the other spots.
Oh yeah.
Because like the fights are so compelling. When you look at who's next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what, like, all the different situations and possibilities, you're just like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Right. And the UFC matchmakers are really great at mixing what styles work best with each other. So not only you look at rankings, you look at a good show at the same time.
Well, I mean, that definitely is a thing, and it's crazy. Oh, hold on. So yeah, I was right. It is Rodriguez.
For Holloway?
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Actually, it's coming up. Wait, it's next week.
What?
Wait, hold on. I'm like, this might be. I need to. No, yeah.
July 17th. Look at that. Yeah, next fight. Oh wait, this show's canceled.
Oh, it got cancelled?
Yeah, why was it canceled?
Oh yeah, Rodriguez is injured.
Because of undisclosed injury. Holloway withdrawals because of undisclosed injury.
Oh yes, that was it. Yeah.
Oh, Max is hurt.
But yeah, I knew I wasn't crazy. I was just like, oh fuck.
You're crazy, but not for this situation.
You know,
So yeah,
and I think, right, talking about the matches, you know, and like just the matchmaking, I think that takes us to the first fight on the main card. I mean, like I think we can come back to the last two fights on the prelims, but
yes.
right, because
Ah,
everyone thought Chris Montillo. Like, who the fuck is that guy?
seriously, this guy was incredible. Crazy green-haired zombie. He was
It's
awesome.
I don't know how he was standing.
No,
I don't know how. And when he got knocked down, he got back up again.
exactly. It's like, did he come out of Stockton, the Diaz fight camp? I mean, he just kept coming and coming.
It was
He was so great.
he showed so much heart, and I feel so bad for that dude
Right.
because
Oh,
Herb should have just let that fight go.
20 more seconds. That's it. 20 more seconds. I mean, I understand he was going to lose no matter what. So Herb was saving a few brain cells, but let him finish the fight. He
No,
was so
but see,
close.
no, but the thing with that is, right, if Herb had stopped that fight at the beginning of the third round, that would have made more sense for the reasoning. You know what I mean? Because you go,
Right, right.
okay, look, he's not going to win and he's been taking a battery. So you stop it at the beginning of the third round. You'd be like, you know what? No, we don't need to see any more of this. That makes sense. I mean, like, obviously, you would have needed a good combination from O'Malley, right? But for that reasoning to stop it, then you'd be like, all right, yeah, I get that.
Right.
But with 20 seconds left in the fight, he'd already been pieced up.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he'd already taken a record number of shots.
I think it was plus 200 at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was insane.
yeah, it was something like 220, or it was something
Yeah, it
close to
was
that,
crazy.
which was just like Jesus Christ. His face was mash.
Oh, yeah.
He'd been beaten up so bad, right? So you go, all right, we're gonna stop this fight because he's eaten so many shots,
Right.
right? But
And he was still on his feet at the
well, yes, well, that's the thing.
also.
With 20 seconds left, he'd just taken a couple of shots,
Right.
but he wasn't out on his feet,
Mm-hmm.
right? It wasn't one of those situations. It wasn't like Donald Cerrone against Justin Gaethje, right? It wasn't like that.
No.
Or even Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje. It wasn't like that. So you just go, you know what? You have put on such a gutsy performance. Yeah, finish this
Mm-hmm.
fucking fight.
Well, I
So,
just let you know, I followed his Twitter and Instagram today. So I'm a new fan of Chris. He's great.
oh, I mean, that loss does not dent him at all. It doesn't hurt
No.
him at all. He took the fight on short notice and he put on a hearty fucking performance. It's just like he is just getting a whole heap of more fans.
Oh, sure.
Whole heap of more fans. Now, I don't think he should fight again for a little while.
No.
I don't think he should take another fight until at least September.
Oh, absolutely. I'm hoping that some good fight camp picks him up, AKA or Stockton or Phoenix, somebody, and this really, really molds him into the great fighter he can be. He has a lot of potential.
I mean, he's old. Like,
How old is he?
let's have a look. I believe he's in his first. I mean, well, he's 28. All right. He's not that old then. But he's 28. I forget who he fights out of.
I think it's Wisconsin, somewhere in Wisconsin,
But
something like that.
no, I mean, I don't think he needs to change camps. But I don't really think he's changing his style. Right? He's of an age where, yeah, you're kind of in your ways now.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see some fun fights from him for sure.
Oh yeah, he has a future in the UFC going forward. He got fight of the night. I mean, that's a good little bump for him.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say for Marino is don't dye your hair green again.
No,
That's a horrible color.
I mean, can you make for an easier target, especially with against O'Malley? It's like, okay, yeah, there's a head. I see it. It's neon green.
It was just this a horrible shade of green. It was just like, oh man, what are you doing?
It was a little blinding. No, but that fight was way, way more exciting than we expected to be.
Oh yeah,
it was so much fun.
Oh yeah, and I don't think O'Malley gets hurt
No,
because he looked slick and he was landing shots. Oh my gosh.
I mean, he might have actually gotten a knockout if he wasn't on his back foot the entire freaking fight. Going backwards, 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 backwards.
Well, no, we've seen O'Malley fight like that in the past.
Oh yeah, his knockout going backwards for sure, but yeah, he couldn't get his footing right. It was weird.
No, but we've seen him knock out fighters on the back foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Landing some of the shots that he landed on Monterino. I mean, like he knocked out Eddie Wineland like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even Quintentus like that. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's just Monterino has granite for a chin.
He does.
You know, because even on the back foot, we've seen O'Malley hurt people.
Oh yeah.
So it's just, and I believe, right, that because people might go, oh yeah, O'Malley doesn't punch that hard. Oh, O'Malley's no. Because we're gonna see him murk some people going forward, right? And the next person he fights, they should not get complacent. Because if they think, oh, O'Malley, obviously that show O'Malley doesn't punch hard. If someone goes into the fight thinking that shit, they get knocked out.
I mean, yeah, this might be like a Hall situation where a future fighter might underestimate him because of it.
Yeah. I think so. And he had some decent call outs, right? The Cody Garbrandt fight is a fight that, has kind of been bubbling around there for a minute.
I think
So,
that'd be good.
I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, right? But I don't know, because I get the feeling Garbrandt might be dropping down a division, but maybe he stays up. I don't know. I mean, he's coming off a loss, so it kind of, you think he might drop down to reinvent himself. But yeah, there's some really good fights. But again, it's like the bantamweight division, man. You just look at the possibilities, and it's just
so sad.
crazy. But again, it's a little fucked because we've got, you know, Aljamain and Yan having to rematch, but that's not going to come until I think they're saying the end of September, October, as I think that's when Sterling has indicated he'll be ready to come back.
Oh wow, it's going to be a while.
Well, yeah, he had neck surgery, right? So
Right.
you know, it's gonna it puts you out for a little while, right?
Yeah.
And but we're getting Sandhagen against Dillashaw, and the winner of that fight will be, you know, they'll be the number one contender. So you're gonna get like it. I mean, it all depends, right? It all depends on the fight between Yan and Sterling. So if the winner, like whoever wins that fight, comes out unscathed,
Sure.
then you might get another fight in before the end of the year.
Right.
But potentially there might not be another title fight after that one until 2022.
This year is going by so quick. It's incredible.
So it makes that division a little bit complicated.
Wow. Not a whole lot of matchups left, too.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, because, you know, Rob Font, right? He's coming off a very good performance. So it's just when you look at, you know, the fights and everything like that. So you could go Font, yeah, he should be next in line for the belt.
Right.
But then you've got the Sandhagen Dillashaw fight. So you might go, right? You might say the winner of Dillashaw Sandhagen fights Font. That might be the smart thing to do.
That wouldn't be too bad. I mean, since Sterling is injured, what about Fontan as the interim?
No, because Sterling's on his recovery.
Okay, so he's putting that on the back burner for now.
So, like, no, there's Sterling. Like, if Sterling, you know, if the surgery hadn't gone very well, and it was just like, all right, he's not going to be back until sometime in 2022, then they possibly have done that fight for an interim belt. But because Sterling is currently rehabbing and has indicated, you know, September as a comeback day, you wouldn't make another fight. It doesn't make any sense to make another fight.
Yeah, that's pretty soon.
But as I said, look, it just makes that division a little bit tricky. A little bit tricky.
Yeah, there's so many things already scheduled too.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Marais Davashvili, you know, he's fighting Merab. Oh, good. Jose Aldo is fighting
Munoz.
Yeah, that's coming up. You know, so those fights are definitely, I mean, definitely the winner of Marais Dalavashvili, that fight. I mean, well, you know, actually, I'm only saying if Merab wins that fight, he's up very close to a title shot. Marais having just lost, I don't think he gets in on a title shot just yet. But if Merab wins, he's definitely in the mix.
That'd be great. I like Marab too.
Marab is great.
Yeah,
Like the only problem is Marab and Sterling train together.
oh, real okay. That'll be interesting.
So it's just like if Marab, the time Marab gets his title shot, if Sterling is still the champ, does make things a little bit tricky. But they have said they will do that fight. But
That's good.
yeah, but I mean they'll do that fight if it's for the belt. They're not doing that fight any other way. But yeah, it could be a possibility coming up.
Oh, that would be great. Actually, I know. Sometimes like it when they come out of the same camp. They know each other's styles already, so you never know how that fight's gonna go.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. You know, definitely a tricky one. I believe though that Sterling does win the encounters in training, but yeah, I don't know, man. It'd be interesting. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, like, let's go back to Nico Price, Michel Pereira.
Oh, for sure. Get back
What
to my
did you
notes
think
on
of
that
that
one.
fight?
Um, let's see. Yeah, I think Michelle took round 1 and 2 without a doubt, and Nico came in pretty hard at the round 3, but I think it was just a little bit too late. So Nico took that by, or Michelle took that by decision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he took round 1 and 2, but Nico a little bit longer round 3. Could have potentially finished, but I don't know. I agree with that one.
Yeah, it was definitely like when you look at that fight, you're just like, oh, you know, Price, he's the one that finished the stronger. But you're just like, I don't think that last round was enough for a 10-8.
Exactly.
And I think that was the thing, because I think Pereira definitely had the edge in the first 2 rounds. Definitely, although, Price had a better second round,
Mm-hmm.
Pereira had just done enough to win it. But it was just like in that third round, Pereira's gas tank was, yeah, it's pretty done.
Right. Real quick.
And I think that does make it very concerning for him going forward. Because, like I think they've been talking like they fixed that correction, but obviously, yeah, that's not
Mm-hmm.
something that's getting fixed. I think
Right.
Michel Pereira, if he can't get people out of the way in the first 2, it does make it tricky for him.
I think so too. I think so too. Because yeah, he was looking pretty tired in the third there, and anybody outside of Nico would have probably got the finish.
Well, I mean, if higher up in that division, right? You go higher in the division, and yeah, someone's going to finish you. Yeah, I think that's the thing when you look at that, right? Because you've got Vicente Luque, Michael Chiesa, Jorge Masvidal, Neil Magny, Bilal Muhammad, Jeff Neal. Like any of them peoples are gonna.
I mean, this is the most ridiculous weight class.
Well, yeah, you look at the lineup. I mean, look, we got Kamzat against, Jing Ling Yong, right? Which is
Right.
incredible. Santiago Ponzinibbio. right? Sean Brady, we're going to see him against Kevin Lee coming up. Like, and like that top 15 is just, there's some killers. And I don't think Michel Pereira beats any of them guys.
None.
There's no one in the top 15 that I would go, oh yeah, he could beat that person. I just think that, yeah, they're just too savvy. They're too savvy. They're gonna wear him out, and then they're gonna finish him.
This is a welterweight division, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's nobody. It's absolutely nobody. I can see him going up there. The way I'm excited about the Chiesa Luque fight coming up in August.
Oh yeah, there's some really great fights. Really great fights coming up in that division, man. So yeah, that's just, boy, fun. So much fun shit. You know, possible Mastodon Covington. You know what I mean?
Oh, I heard about that one. That'd be fun. And would you? I'm sort of hoping that we get a Kamaru Usman Edwards fight.
No. I mean, look, I think Edwards, he's definitely done enough to get himself a title fight. Definitely, for sure. Just Usman's winning that fight.
Oh, definitely. No, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I don't see anybody within, let me see. Yeah, top 15 that will take out Usman right now.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like there's a thing. So I'm just like, there's none of these fights that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that guy against Usman, because I just don't think anyone's beating Usman.
Stylistically, I would love to see Wonder Boy against Usman. I think he'd have more, weapons in his toolbox to kind of counter that. But unfortunately, it didn't go well this weekend.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? And I wouldn't have thought it would have been. Well, I guess we're going to talk about that fight next. Let's go to the co-main event, right? Because I didn't think that Burns was going to be able to take Thompson down as easily as he did.
100%. That was surprising.
And that was the big thing of that fight, right? Without those takedowns, Burns doesn't win that fight. And he didn't do a lot with those takedowns. So I did wonder, right? Because there was a possibility of you giving that fight to Thompson, because I just thought Burns didn't do a whole lot with the takedowns. I mean, with a few of them, he was looking for something, but then some of them, not so much.
Right.
Right. But when you look at that fight and how easy Burns took him down, you'd be like, well, Usman would have, you know what I mean?
Right.
He would have just taken Thompson down. So a fight that you thought, oh, that's very compelling, I don't know if it is.
Burns is just putting on so much pressure. He just wasn't letting up whatsoever.
But that's what Usman does.
Yeah. So,
so it's just like, if Thompson goes down like that, Usman would have been even more so.
Right. Good point.
And it was just surprising because, Thompson, as I said, look, we spoke about it, right? He's got Weidman as a brother-in-law. So you're thinking the wrestling reps that he's getting, it was just surprising that he got taken down like that. And look, it's not a straight up comparison thing, because like, oh well, if that person can take him down, that means everyone can take him. No, it doesn't work like that. But it's just, when you look at it, Usman is so dominant that if one person can take someone down, you just think, oh well, Usman would have. I mean, he would have just destroyed.
Right. No comparison.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just, it's that situation, really. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, I just don't think Edwards against Usman is, or anyone against Usman right now, is as compelling as you'd have wanted it to be.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're definitely right. Usman's just way too dominant.
Yeah, it makes it interesting of who you put Burns up against.
Burns.
That's where it gets interesting. So I guess you might put the winner of Lupe Chiesa against Burns.
What about Colby?
Well, it's either going to be Covington against Usman or Covington against Masvidal.
Oh yeah, I heard about the Masvidal one.
Possibly
being lined up.
If Covington doesn't fight Usman next, he'll be fighting Masvidal most likely. So that's that. Yeah. Now you might go Edwards Burns, but then the winner would be fighting Usman, and I don't know if you can go 2 fights and a rematch for Burns. Because he got finished. He got finished in that second round pretty easy. So yeah, I think he might need more than 2 fights to get back.
Right. I think Burns and Edwards would be a really fun fight.
It would, but as I said, then like the winner, right? Because you'd think Edwards, if he won that fight, he's definitely got a title shot. Right? So you'd be like, oh, and if you're saying Edwards gets a title shot, then technically the person that beats Edwards gets the title shot.
Yeah, you would imagine so.
But you can't put Burns back in that title fight.
When was the Usman Masvidal fight? How long ago was that?
That was UFC 261, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, thinking so. Yeah, so Usman's due.
Yeah, but Usman will be fighting either Covington. It's probably going to be either Covington. If it's not Covington, I'd say it's Edwards. But they're just trying to work that out at the moment.
No, there's so many ways this thing can go. It's incredible.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a matchmaker.
No shit. This is wild. The division is just so stacked. I mean, any of these matches with anybody would be a great fight.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Someone I thought looked really good. Irene Aldana.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was surprising.
You thought that was surprising?
Well, I was just thought just for Yana, I thought Yana was gonna last a little bit longer instead of getting finished in the first round.
Yeah, but Aldana knocked um, Ketlin Vieira out. So it's like Aldana has got heavy hands. So it's like it didn't surprise me that she finished Vieira, Kutsensaya.
Yeah, that was. I know. I didn't really study Adana a whole lot ahead of time. It's her jab was on point. It's like, yeah, she was really able to keep the distance. The most of that fight with that jab, that was great, and then and to come in with that left was wow.
Oh yeah, no, Aldana's
Yeah,
got great stand up.
no doubt. Yeah, that was surprising to me.
Yeah, she trained with Alexa Grasso, and she comes out of that camp, and that camp has got some very, very good Mexican fighters in it. Right?
That's true.
They've got some tough fighters in that camp, and training with Alexa Grasso every day. Whew, that's something.
True.
So it's just, and when you've watched Irene Aldana's previous fights, her stand-up is legit. And it was just if she had made the corrections from the last fight. And yes, you could see she's definitely done that. And Kutsensteyer, look, you knew what she was going to do. She was looking to get Aldana on the fence, wear on her, some dirty boxing, just grind it out, wear her down, and from there, probably go for a submission or sign. But Aldana just, she followed her plan to a T, did not let Kusansaya get the upper hand.
Right.
And then just finished her.
Yeah, that was great.
Irene Aldana is very good.
No, definitely. And can't never fault the Mexican under boxing. Always got great striking.
Yeah, and it is a very true thing what they were saying on the card, right? Brandon Moreno, he's their champion, and yeah, it's a legitimate thing. You see you see a friend excel even. It buoys you. It gives you that belief, like, oh shit, yeah, I can get to that level too. I can do it. I can get there. I want to get there. So yeah,
100%.
it's given those Mexican fighters that little, whoo, okay,
Yeah,
let's see what we can do.
it's a little bit of fire to get them going.
Yeah, and they were already on the cusp as it was. So yeah, I'm interested to see who Aldana goes up against next. Like it's an interesting division. It is an interesting division. I mean, I think she can beat people like Sarah McMahon. I would definitely put her as the one to win. Oh man, I can't think of my words. But against people like Macy Chazon, Lena Landsberg, Panic Sad, even though I like Panic Sad, but I'd say Aldana is the favorite in any of those matchups.
What about it against Holly Holm?
Well, they just fought. So you wouldn't make that fight again right away. But like an Aspen Ladd, I'd say Aldana gets that job done. Like, I mean, Jermaine Durandame, that's a tough one. That would be it because Durandame has just got lot of tools, and she's just added submissions to that. So it's a bit like, whew, that's a tough one.
Submission. Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. She even went the distance with Nunes.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know if Aldana is there quite yet, but she's
There's
in the
literally no
mix.
other matchup. Everybody's already booked up.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the big problem. You've got people already matched up and stuff like that. So yeah, it's an interesting situation for Aldana. But yeah, I'd be intrigued to see where they go with that one.
Yeah, the division is so stacked. I'm excited to see Nunes though in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
You already know the outcome.
yeah. I mean that's the thing. It's just like,
Right.
I like watching Nunes fight,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no point of for me, it doesn't really seem any possibility of Pena winning. The only way you see Pena winning is if Nunes has a terrible weight cut.
Which not likely to happen.
Well, I mean, look, with the women, it can get interesting, right? Because there's other things in play. Like if it's the period, right? Menstruation fucks up the weight cut. So that would be
bloated or something. I could see that.
Well, it is because it's water retention.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're trying to cut weight, there can't be water retention.
Right.
So I mean that would be the only thing. If she had a bad weight cut, then you might go, okay, Pena has a chance. But other than that, Pena doesn't have a chance.
No.
And the thing is, that's not a slight on Pena. Pena is very tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like ever since The Ultimate Fighter, I've been watching Pena. I really like Pena, but she ain't beating Amanda Nunes.
Exactly right. Amanda is her own level altogether. There's nobody out there. Period.
That is the problem with that fight. I think we go with the other heavyweights. Tai Tuivasa, Greg Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
That now it wasn't a long fight.
No, not at all. Not at all. Makes you want a shoey though.
No, it does not.
No shoey. No shoey.
I am not letting anyone spit in my fucking drink.
That's so nasty. This is so fucking.
I mean that gets people fucked up.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, if a motherfucker spits in your drink, then hey, we having words. Hey, that ain't the thing to do. And just.
So what's worse, someone else's shoe or someone else's spit?
It's both.
It's so fucking nasty. It's so great.
Right, because listen. Now, all right. Well, yes, no, here's the thing. If it was my girl's shoe, right? And I knew that my girl's feet were nice, right? If you're dating a chick and she had nice feet,
sure,
right? Like that those feet, they don't stink, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're pedicured, they're nice.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
they're so fresh, they're so clean, right? If it's a situation like that, then you'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll drink out. And we haven't been on some long hike or anything like that. You'd be like, yeah, I'll drink out of your shoe, right? But some random motherfucker at a UFC event ain't
No.
drinking. Like, some motherfucker put hot sauce into one of those shoeys that he drank.
Oh, nice.
Like, come on, man. What
Add some flavor.
that's some nasty ass shit. That's some
That's
that's
awful.
some mean shit. Like, what the fuck are they doing, man? So yeah, I'm just like, listen, it depends on what someone's feet are like to that, but definitely no one. I ain't drinking someone's spit.
No.
Hey, you fucking crazy?
I mean, I might do my wife's, but that's probably the only limit. That's about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the difference with that is, like, there's so much, you know what I mean? Fun stuff going on. The spit ain't nothing.
Exactly. That's the smallest part of the whole situation is going on. We get into crazy shit, but it's all consensual all the time. It's all right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna make a banana split. Ay, ay,
ay. Exactly.
So yeah, no, your girl spit ain't shit. But yeah, I ain't doing that with some random motherfucker I do not know. That's insane.
Even though if it'll make you knock out Greg Hardy in 1:07, give you some special power.
I mean, that was insane. Because Hardy had hurt Tuivasa.
He did.
Hardy hurt Tuivasa. But as said, right, it was like Trevor Giles. It was like Jerome Rivers. He came in. He came in and was not respecting his opponent's power. And I put a tweet out, right? And I was just like, yo, that reminded me of Drago, Hands of Stone, Stephen Smith from back in the day.
No doubt.
Right? Because that fight was insane. Drago hurt Smith. Hurt Smith comes running in and then gets knocked out. So it was just like, oh man, Hardy. Yeah, you're just like, he was winning. He was just about. He's thinking, I'm just about to win this fight. All right. And he gets cool. Cool.
That was like probably his inexperience showing right there. He got excited. He got the clean hit coming in, and then night. He got caught.
Yeah. No, it was definitely the inexperience. Definitely the experience. But I mean, listen, even though he hasn't had a lot of fights, Dean Thomas is telling him, you do not do that. Right? Like they would have gone over that. Like that's something that you would have gone over regardless of the number of fights you've had. It's just, don't be reckless. Again, guard. Where the fuck is the guard?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? It was just, it was crazy. It was fucking crazy. Because you just thought, oh, Tuivasa is hurt. Oh, shit. It was insane.
No, but that was a really fun finish though. It's like the way how Ty just pulled it off at the end though. He just leaned into it, got knocked the fuck out, Hardy, and then Ty had a shoey.
Oh yeah.
Like immediately. That was so fun.
Yeah,
I
no,
honestly thought
definitely.
Ty was going to lose for a second.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. It looked like it was over. It looked like that fight was done. And yeah, he turned it around. Just turned it around. And just think, we had 12 fights on this card. I think we had 9 stoppages.
Yeah, so many.
Although, although the main event.
Yeah. Well, before we talk about that, we got one more. What about the Condit Griffin fight?
Um, I mean, I just think it took Condon a while to warm up.
Mm-hmm.
It took him a while to warm up, and then it was just in that third round. Condon, he was doing okay, but he got taken down,
Right.
right? And that was it. As soon as he got taken down, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we just like, you know what I mean, it was getting up. He wasn't able to get up.
Yeah, he got taken down again and again. It was this, and it was kind of sad almost. It's like, bye bye, Carlos.
Well, I mean, he's not retiring, but it was just
Not quite, but
in that he had a better second round, right? He kind of warmed up and he got into it. He had a better second round, and then in the third round he was doing okay. But for both fight, you'd be like, all right, whoever wins this round wins the fight. But then he got taken down,
mhm.
and it wasn't it like we've seen him stuff those sort of takedown attempts before. So it was just the like, no, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That was just the problem. It was just like he had this a real slow start. So he basically gave that first round away. And I mean, listen, it wasn't a fact that, oh yeah, that Griffin only won that round because Condon didn't do anything. No, Griffin had a very good first round, right? But
mhm.
because of, Condon, he was just so slow. It took him so long to warm up.
Right.
He's then just fighting at a deficit, right? He's having to make up ground rather than be on an even keel of things. So he just had made it very difficult for himself. I mean, that was the problem. He'd
That
made it
makes sense.
difficult to himself, and he wasn't able to negate the takedown attempts.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of. I see it going that way too. It just it didn't seem like the same Carlos before. I just think maybe it's just getting age or just getting up there, or I don't know.
I mean, you say that, but then in the last couple of fights, Condon has looked good, right? He'd gone through that bad patch, but then he turned it around. He beat oh my gosh. Oh my Court McGee. Yes, Court McGee. He won that fight and then he beat the Immortal. Oh, what's my memory is so fucking
Yeah, you're telling me that.
Jesus. I want to say Mike.
Let me see. Carlos Condit. He had Matt Brown, Court McGee.
Matt Proud, yes.
There we
So
go.
he beat McGee, beat Matt down, and he looked good in those fights. So right, it's not like it's just like, oh yeah, this terrible decline of Carlos Condon, because he had come back from a losing streak. He was on a losing streak and he turned it around. So it was just odd. Like this was it wasn't the performance of the fighter we have just seen in the last two fights. That was the thing about this fight.
I got you there.
But yeah, the main event.
Yes,
The main event, and just the way all of that went, because that was not what anyone had expected. I mean, there was just every moment of that fight was not what anyone had expected. I mean, a lot of people had thought McGregor was washed up. A lot of people thought that, you know, Poirier, he was going to do what he did in the first fight. I mean, the second fight, even, the first rematch. And he was going to shoot, get an easy takedown, and dominate the round. Dominate the fight, end the fight. But McGregor, right, switching stances, killing it with the leg kicks.
His leg kicks were looking good.
And his stand-up, he had the better stand-up of that fight. On the feet, he was winning that fight. Right? But then it was just, it was just one of them things, right? Because people, I think it was DC. DC was just like, oh yeah, Conor, you know, I'm surprised Conor went to the ground with Dustin, because Dustin, he's very good on the ground. And I'm just like, but Conor is probably the same, right? Conor is good on the ground. Conor trains on the ground. The thing about that guillotine and why that guillotine didn't work was because, look, it was tight on the neck, but he didn't control the body. He had no control of the body. And so Poirier was able to move. He was able to
go into the opposite direction up the fence and get out of that pretty easy.
Yeah. So it's like once you grab that neck, right? Once you think, oh, I'm going to pull guard here, you take the body as well. Right? So, you know, McGregor should have thrown his legs up, got a body triangle, you know what I mean? Or just whatever. You know, but you have to trap and control the body. So that's where that didn't work. But then we got into, you know, Poirier was dropping some elbows, but then McGregor was hitting some very nasty, you know what I mean, elbows, which were going pretty well. Now, I will say...
He had that up leg kick too, that nailed Poirier.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty well too.
But I will say, right, Poirier had the better of the ground. Right? I would not question that. And I think anyone that says anything differently, I think some bias is coming in.
For sure.
Right? Because I think when you look at that first round, Conor, he controlled the stand-up, but Poirier hit more heavy shots on the ground than McGregor did. Because even
100%.
though he was landing that elbow, you can't generate the same amount of torque on that as if you were on top. So Poirier, he had the better of that ground. But, right, here's the thing. Now, McGregor got back up, right? I think there was a minute, 30 seconds, something like that left in the round.
Right.
But McGregor got back up. And when you look at McGregor when he got back up, it wasn't a disorientated McGregor. It wasn't a McGregor that you go, oh, fuck, he looks done. right?
No, he did fine.
He came at Poirier with the same aggression as he had been showing earlier in the round. McGregor still looked dialed in, but
Mm.
it was that step back.
Right.
Oh my God. It was that step back, and that was just
That was brutal.
jeez. I do not know what it is about the like we have just seen some horrible injuries in MMA
Mm-hmm.
recently, right? And it's weird.
Was it
Is we
Weidman? I think
went
was the
through
last one.
well, no. So there was Weidman, there was Jamal Hill, who had the horrible dislocated arm against Paul
Oh, that's
Gray.
right. Yeah, that
You
one they
just
did.
thought the arm was broken,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
that one's
flopping
bad.
around in the wind, but no, it wasn't broken. And Jamal Hill has actually just booked another fight. He's going to be fighting oh God. Shit. My mind has just gone fucking Jimmy Crew. That's it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Which whew, that I mean that is not an easy fight for either fighter. But when your arm is a little fuckeries, that's a tough fight, man. I'd want to take that fight once I knew my arm was 100%. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
But yeah, it's weird. It just seems there have just been a number of horrible injuries of late. And we'd gone through a period of time where we just hadn't seen anything that bad. Right. And look, there was the Weidman leg injury, and I'm talking about the Anderson Silva one. No, I mean, it was the Anderson Silva leg injury, right, against Weidman.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd seen that. And then there was Grant Hill. He broke his leg on after I believe it was the fight after the Ultimate Fighter. Right, they were the big ones. I mean, there was also what MVP did to Cyborg over in Bellator when he just caved in his
Oh, right.
motherfucking skull, which was just oh.
Ah,
But
yeah, that was nasty.
in the last few, like those were the big injuries. Those were the ones.
Mm-hmm.
Now and look, I'm not counting like a when you had like Donald Cerrone against Justin Gaethje, and his eyes were just shut. Both eyes were just shut. Or the hematoma on Jacek's head. Like that's gnarly, yes,
No,
but that's not the same.
no, those are
That is
flesh wounds in
not the
comparison.
same.
Uh,
And so, yeah, it's so odd that all of a sudden we're seeing these horrendous injuries.
all these limbs too. Just their limbs are just falling off. It's incredible.
Yeah. So, and the thing with McGregor's injury, right? So I think when you look at, say, the Anderson Silva or even the Uriah Hall, to Weidman, those happened from a check, from a
Mm-hmm.
check. But the McGregor one, he stepped back and that went. Now, I know, right? Poirier's suddenly like, oh yeah, no. That first kick, I heard something. And I mean, like,
Right.
did you know?
Didn't hear anything.
Like, I'm just like, I
I mean,
don't I don't
I was
believe
looking
it.
at those sticks, and I mean, the first ones in the beginning were more towards the knee and the thigh. But his last kick, the one where right before it was full on to the thigh, and then he had the front kick to the body. Then he stepped back weird, and then it buckled.
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't seem that injured. If he was able to do, kick that thigh, no problem, and do that front leg kick with no issue.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I'm just like, look, if it happened in that first kick of the fight, then I'd have expected it to have gone sooner. Because
sure.
McGregor threw a lot of kicks. He threw a lot of kicks in that fight. So I don't believe that, yeah, if he had broken that, fractured that at the very start of the fight, I don't think you're going with the amount of kicks and the heaviness of the kicks McGregor was throwing. I don't think you make it to the end of that fight.
Right. He was like 9 for 9 on his kicks too.
Huh?
He was 9 for 9 on his kicks too. He was dominated.
Oh yeah,
He
was landing some very good kicks. That was the thing. I think McGregor was winning on the feet. Right.
You can see in that first kick too, Dustin's face was like, ugh. He's like, yeah, he felt that shit.
Oh yeah, McGregor landed some good shots. Right. Yeah. So I just think you can't say, oh yeah, but the way things were going, Poirier was winning that. No, you can't say that, I believe. Because I just think with that fight, they both had their moments. And then at the very end, both were ready. Both were ready and eager to get back at it. Like neither, you couldn't look at it and go, oh, that one, they're very tired. Or, oh, you can see that they don't want any more. No, both were ready to go back at it.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just, it was gnarly. It was gnarly.
And it just looked so nasty.
Well, yeah, and then you see the like weirdness from people, right? I just thought Poirier's reaction was a bit. I mean, it wasn't the best, right? And listen, I understand there was some crazy shit said by both in the lead up to this fight, but when Poirier was just like, oh, he said he was gonna kill me. He said he was gonna kill me. I'm just like, yeah, come on, man. What are we doing here?
That's how you saw in the fight. That's all.
Well, no, I'm just like, listen. There is I'm gonna kill you, and there's I'm gonna kill you. Right?
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, so a lot of the times, if you're having an argument with someone, you're like, you know what, motherfucker? I can kill you anytime. So shut the fuck up. Now, I'm saying that doesn't mean I'm going to go and get a burner and kill you. But I'm just saying, I will throw hands and I will beat you. So shut up. Like, who are we trying to kid? I'm gonna fuck you up. Right? But saying I'm going to kill you doesn't mean I'm gonna kill you. Right? And it's one of them things that everyone knows that shit. Everyone knows that shit. So let's not pretend and think, oh, Poirier actually thought that McGregor was going to try and kill him.
No.
Because no one thought that, right? It's just that crazy shit that you talk. Exactly. So yeah, I just thought that Poirier's reaction was a little off.
One of Connor's big strengths is that he knows how to sell a fight. He will build up the controversy and everything pre-fight to get those pay-per-view sales. And whether he believes what he's saying or not, he's gonna sell a freaking fight. And even the bullshit he said at the end afterwards about, oh, your wife is in my DMs or whatever, he was I don't honestly believe that he was doing it in real malicious. He's selling his next fight. He's selling himself,
No,
basically.
no, no, no.
He's the badass, and
No,
that's it.
that was not selling a fight. That
I
was
think
said because you're in fucking pain. Like McGregor in that interview with Rogan and just that talk at the end of that fight, that was more fuck. That was pain. That was
that's what Kim was saying too.
pain talking. Because I nearly just before Skankfest in 2019, I nearly broke my leg. And
Oh shit!
I remember the pain, the pain of it all. It was in like you know on the subway, right? And you've got the train when the train pulls in, and the gap between the platform and the train.
Oh sure.
My leg went down that gap,
Oh fuck!
and so I was stuck between the motherfucking platform and the
Oh my!
train.
Oh my god!
And I just I'm no to this day I don't know how the fuck that happened, right? Because you look at the gap you wouldn't think a leg is going down that gap.
No doubt.
I
How?
have
I mean, how far is it? That little gap.
the gap is fucking tiny.
That's,
Like, it's
oh, that,
insane. But for some, I don't know what happened. I just must have, like, you know what I mean? Just misread. Like, I have no depth perception. So it's just a bit like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you are just taking a leap of motherfucking faith and hoping,
yes, so.
I think the next step is there. Let's just see. Right? But it's like I had stepped onto the motherfucking train for so many years, and I have done it with no accidents. And that time, my leg went in between, and
oh my god!
you know what I mean. You're just thinking, oh, if this train moves, my leg is done. I'm losing a leg.
Amputee? Yeah.
But it was like I got my leg. I managed to get my leg out. Right. I have no clue how, but I managed to get my leg out, and for a second, right, for a few seconds, everything is fine. And then the pain hits. And the pain I had was insane. Right? And
Imagine.
and so this is the thing, right? I just had ridiculous bruising. I had like super just deep to the bone bruising all over my leg. I think I kind of hyperextended my knee. You know what I mean? It was just fucked up. But there wasn't a break, right? There wasn't a break. And the pain that was on me was insane. So I could only imagine that pain that like McGregor, Weidman, Silva had. So when I tell you that everything that came out of McGregor's mouth, that was just pain, right? You are there's no clarity to the fall, right? Because every like at that moment, like people are like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Does it hurt?" And you're just like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Just leave me alone. I'm trying not to cry in public, so you need to fuck up." You know what I mean? It's just like, don't talk to me. So it's just like when you've got people and they're around you and they're asking you questions, you're on live motherfucking TV. It's just, and then it's just a frustration. So
pride and pain at the same time.
Yeah, I am giving someone in that situation all levels of buy, right? Like whatever you, I don't like, it's fine. You
Mm-hmm.
can talk as reckless as you want. It is fine because I understand you are fucked up right
I know,
now,
right?
right? So I just thought that Poirier a little tasteless. It's a little tasteless. Now, I will say, right, when you come into a situation the way McGregor comes into a situation, right? And even though it's hyping a fight and everything like that, you are you are rinsing every ounce of goodwill out of a motherfucker. You are running someone so raw with everything you are saying. So I get it that hey, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? I
Mm-hmm.
get that too. But, right, because you've got everyone, like I saw Julie Avila, she put out some tweet today, and it was just like, oh, it's so good that all the nice people in MMA are winning. And I'm just a bit
Hmm.
like, what I don't know what we're doing here. Because it's just like when you say shit like that, it makes no sense to me.
No, what's that
It's
even mean?
like I don't know what anyone is like off TV. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like you
Yeah.
could look, Brendan Moreno, he looks like a sweet motherfucker. Like I was so happy when Brendan Moreno won that belt. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
But I can't say he's like this super great guy every moment of his life. I'm just like, listen, everyone does some shitty things. Everyone's got a little bit grind to them, you know what I mean? But it's just like to kind of then gloat over a situation like this
That's
and
true.
just be like, oh, that person had it coming, right? I'm like I'm not wishing that kind of shit on people I don't like.
No, that was a very underhanded kind of tweet right there.
Yeah, I'm just like, listen, and the other thing, as I said, like McGregor was winning the stand up, right? I think if you were going to say anything otherwise, it's a little disingenuous.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like it was this situation where Poirier was piecing him up. And
Hmm.
then Poirier did this thing which caused that injury. It clear cut. No, it wasn't clear cut like that. So
Right.
I just think it's a fucked up situation. It just ended in a way that just made you go, oh, man, because the fight was, man, that fight was heating
Oh
up.
yeah, it was.
Like I was anticipating a crazy second round,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Oh,
and that's what happened. So I don't think, you know, yes, Poirier won the fight. Technically, Poirier won the fight, but I just don't think like anyone comes out of that fight, you know, great.
no. Yeah, I mean, even Poirier after the fight, it's like, yeah, he won, but he didn't even feel good about it. It wasn't like a decisive victory,
No,
by any means.
yeah. So yeah, it was a crazy way to fucking end that pay per view, man.
So, what do you see next for both of them?
I mean, for McGregor, it's just rehab.
Yeah, no shit, right?
And I don't know, it depends how it heals. goes, right? Because sometimes those things heal well, sometimes they do not.
I think yeah,
Like
Dominic Cruz is talking about depending on where the break is. If it's actually a true ankle break, it can heal pretty quick. But if it's
yeah.
anything higher up, he's sort of fucked for a while.
Well, that's the thing. It was just like I think it might have been Rogan said it looked like it was above the ankle, the break.
Ugh. Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
that's all bad.
it's that crazy thing, and we've seen there's been a few fighters that they've injured themselves, and then they try and come back, and then it doesn't heal properly, and they have to have another. Like Paige Van Sant, when she broke her arm, thought it healed, then it broke again. Then the break didn't seal properly, and they had to re-break it and you know what I mean, refix it.
Yeah, it's always
Right?
brutal.
It's just sometimes these things do not heal quickly. So it's hard to say, because I think even Weidman, right, he's walking around, but even he said that that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because there's still something that could go wrong in his situation, and they're monitoring it, and he has to go for more tests and shit like that. And I think he said, look, they've got to test this stuff and make sure this thing, because if it goes in a certain way, there's still a possibility he has to have an amputation. So it's so these things are fucking, it's weird. It's weird. Right? So it's hard to say what the fuck happens with McGregor. Like that could be it.
Hopefully not. Horrible way to end it, but
yeah. But I mean, look, Poirier fights for the title next. You know, that we know.
Yeah, Oliveira is like that's definitely has to be next up on his list.
Yeah,
has to be.
But yeah, so you know, and I imagine that will probably take place. They'll probably look to book that for like October or something like that, I'd imagine.
I know Dustin though was saying he wanted to take some time off because he had pretty much back-to-back camps with Connor. So see how much time he wants to take off for that.
Yeah, but October, November, that's far enough off, I'd imagine. Yeah. So
yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, because I don't believe that Oliveira will want to sit out for the rest of the year. Like Oliveira will want to be fighting again before the end of the year. Technically, he could have 2 more fights before the end of the year.
He's due.
So he's got the belt, right? This is time for Oliveira to make money. So Oliveira will want to be fighting.
No, exactly right. Yeah, it's really Oliveira is the one he's ready to go right now. So as soon as Poirier's ready, I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah. So I would think if Poirier doesn't want to fight, I'd think that it goes to Dariush. I think Beneil Dariush gets the fight.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think that possibly we see Chandler Gaethje.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was actually looking up Gaethje today. He doesn't have anything lined up. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
in that division.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine he's maybe got an injury. I don't know.
It's possible.
Like Dos Anjos, although he was the backup fighter for this, I don't. I think he needs at least one more win, and I'd say more than that to get back into the mix.
There's a lot of potential fights on here. Those are open.
Yeah, it's fun, man. like all of these divisions, you know what I mean? We just got some fun ass fights
Mm-hmm.
to look forward to, you know? But yeah, because Dariush, I mean, Dos Anjos, he beat Felder, right? That was his last fight. But
Right.
that was a Felder that took that fight on, like, what, a few days' notice?
Yeah, that was a really short notice.
You know, so, like, it doesn't get you into the mix. You know what I mean? That does not
Mm-hmm.
get you into the mix for the belt, especially the fact that he's coming off the losses to Edwards and Chiesa. So
Right.
yeah, I think Dariush, I think Benil gets that fight. Right, I would say that maybe you put Dos Anjos against Bilal, like Bilal Muhammad.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
no, you don't, because that's not the division.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking for
This is the wrong
Bilal. Yeah.
division. Yes, no, but I mean, you could put Dos Anjos against Dan Hooker, right? There's some fights, but yeah, there's definitely some fights to be had, but I'd imagine if Poirier doesn't want the Oliveira fight yet, then it's Bernal Dariush.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do Chandler Gaethje. If Gaethje wins, Gaethje gets the next shot. You
Could be
know,
good.
like,
Yeah.
look, we've got Islam Makhachev. He is definitely. He's got a fight coming up. I forget who against, but
Diego.
okay.
Diego Moses. That's what I think his name is.
Oh, right, yes. My
Oh, that's
eyes.
next week. That's next Saturday, actually.
Yeah. So I believe that I think a win would possibly give him that shot. I think he has racked up so many wins. He's looked so good. I definitely believe that you could say he's in the mix, right? So I
Yeah,
think that
absolutely.
Makhachev and Dariush they're two people that are on the bubble for a title shot. And I like that, right? Because it's really mixing things up.
I mean, this division is just so stacked all the way around. It's incredible.
Yeah, we have some
Always
fun
so good.
fights to look forward to, but yeah, man, UFC 264 was definitely a crazy one. Definitely a crazy one, Mike.
No doubt, man. From early prelims to the last fucking fight, it was wild.
Yup.
I
And
love it. Loved it.
yeah, I mean next week, yeah, we've got Makhachev against Moraes, which that's fun. It's a shame because fuck, who did we lose?
Ooh.
Um, oh god, trying to think. Oh yeah, Holloway Rodriguez. That was the main event, right? So unfortunately, we lose that because that's a fun main event. But as I said, look, Makachev and Moraes, that's not bad. That's not bad at
No,
all.
good fight.
And also, we get the return of Misha Tate and Marion
Yes.
Renew's retirement fight.
I was just looking at that co-main right now. It's like that'll be a fun one.
Yeah. There are some very good fights on this card. Like Jeremy Stevens is fighting Matus Gamon, right? Which is, that's a fun one. That's a real fun fight. We got some good ones. Amanda I mean, Amanda Lemos against Montserrat Rios, that fight, jeez, I cannot wait for that one. That's a good fight. Man, we got some good fights on this card. Francisco Figueiredo against Malcolm Gordon. Miles Johns against Anderson Dos Anjos.
Wow. And then the week after that, what do we got? Sandhagen and Dillashaw?
Yup.
Yeah, we got some good fights coming next few weeks.
Yeah. And next Sunday, it's a Submission Underground 25. So there's a lot of fun things to look forward to, man.
Ooh. I gotta look that one up. Submission Underground. Where's that playing on?
That's on Fight Pass.
Oh, okay. All right. I know I gotta subscribe.
Oh yeah,
Really,
you are missing out on it. Like LFA, that's on Friday, and they've got, well, I say that's on Friday. LFA have got, no, so they've got card next week is the 16th and the 18th. You know, and they're both from Brazil, ending in a welterweight tournament for the new champion. So yeah, a couple of great LFA fights. You got Submission Underground. You got the UFC. Next week is going to be fire.
Ooh, all right, I might give, what is it, $10 a month, something like that? I think for us anyway.
Something like that.
Something like that. It's not too bad. I waste a whole lot of money on shit I don't even watch. Random subscriptions like, oh wait, I'm still paying for DAZN. It's like I don't even watch that. But I get some random boxing match once upon a time, but they're still charging me $20 a month for the shit.
Oh shit! But I think they do a free trial.
No, I'll commit to it. So you might as well. It's not too bad.
But yeah, no, Fight Pass is definitely all the different stuff that they show, like all the regional stuff. You've got the archives. It's just fun, man.
It's not bad. Only $10 a month. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Because you think, right? So ESPN, they've got the old UFC, but Fight Pass, they've got Pride, they've got Strike Force, right? They've got Cage Warriors, they've got Quintet, they've got Polaris, man, Submission Underground, they got EBI, man, just so much fun stuff. Combat Jiu-Jitsu, Titan FC, CFC, you know what I mean? Just like so much.
Damn, you need your own chin check code to get people to sign up to get some kind of kickback.
Oh dear. Yeah, at some point we'll work that shit out.
Eventually. One day.
Yes. But yeah, Mike, I think that's us.
That sounds great.
I think
that was a great fight weekend.
It was indeed. It was indeed. So yeah, be interesting to see some of the fallout, right? Some of the matches that get made, right? You know what I mean? Exactly. There's some people that have definitely put themselves in a great position for good fights. And then look, even with people like Chris Moratti, who lost, still put themselves in very good esteem for a next fight. Right? So yeah.
I know. Next time he fights again, people are gonna be super excited for that.
Oh,
as soon as he heals up his face a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, it will be interesting, man. It will be interesting. But until next time, my friend.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon.
Yep. All right. Peace.
All right. Thank you, man.